Alright, so in today's video we are going to talk a little bit about liquidity sweeps. Now what you will learn in this video, what is a liquidity sweep, how to identify clean sweep setups on any chart, how to avoid getting stop hunt, and entry techniques after a sweep. And we're going to go through real chart examples and sniper entry breakdowns. Now what are liquidity sweeps? Liquidity sweeps happen when price initially moves beyond a key high or low to trigger stop losses or grab pending orders. This is done by smart money, the big institutions, to collect liquidity before moving price in the opposite direction. It often looks like a breakout, but it's actually a trap. Alright, so how to identify clean sweep setups on any chart. Now what we need to look for, we need to look for equal highs or equal lows, a sharp weak or impulsive move beyond those levels, price quickly returns back inside the range, and bonus, we confirm with indicators like flux charts, smart money tools. Alright, now here you can see we have a trend line, a trend moving in a trend line direction. As you can see here, I drew out this trend line here. So below every low, there's resting liquidity. So what happens is when price comes down, it can take this liquidity sweep right over here. It took out all of this liquidity here, and then we had an impulse move, and then you can enter from a fair value gap, order block, a breaker block, everything like that. But what we need to wait for is this liquidity sweep to happen. When you look at this example, this is a double top, or it can work vice versa, double bottom. So if this is the trend, you can see we're consolidating, then there's resting liquidity above these highs. And what we do, most of the people will wait for that breakout retest and then continue higher. But when you look at the higher time frame analysis, for example this, if we are in a downwards trend, you wait for price to come and take these highs to grab the liquidity, and then you can enter from your entry model that you always do. Either break a block, fair value gap, order block, and you wait for price to create that impulse move after it took the liquidity sweep, and then you enter and then you target the next level of liquidity. Same in this example, if this yellow line is your higher time frame trend, so we have our lows and our highs, and inside of this is going to be internal liquidity. Now on this move up, price will go like this, up, down, and then liquidity will be created. Now we're waiting for the retracement for the continuation, but before we can enter on that continuation, we need price to enter a higher time frame POI, point of interest. Let's say, for example, this was a fair value gap, breaker block, or even order block. Price retraced to it. Price took the liquidity that was created on this move down, and then price enters our higher time frame POI. We get a big impulse move, and then you can enter on the lower time frame on your entry model. Fair value gap, order block, breaker block, etc. Alright, so how to avoid getting stop hunted. Don't place stops just below or above highs or lows. That's where everyone puts them. Add a buffer, example 5 to 10 pips above or below the swing. Wait for confirmation after the sweep. So before example, we had our trend line, took the liquidity, got our big impulse move, and then we wait for price to enter this POI, breaker block, order block, fair value gap, whichever entry model you use. And then your stops needs to be below this low, in this case right over here. Don't put it on the low, give a little bit of breathing space, because this is where the stops hunts are, and then you enter your trade right over there. Same in this example. After price took the liquidity sweep right over here, above these highs, we are going to put our stops just above this high as a little bit of a buffer if price is still going to play here before continuing down. When we look at this example, when price enter our higher time frame POI, you can put your stops a little bit below that POI. If it's an order block, below the order block, breaker block, below the breaker block, fair value gap, put it below the first candle of the fair value gap with a little bit of a buffer, and then you will see your price move to the direction that you anticipated. So entry techniques after a sweep. We'll wait for price to return inside the range, show rejections of the sweep, look for a breaker block or fair value gap on the lower time frame, enter on a retest or rejection candle, place stops below the actual sweep, not the liquidity level. Extra tip, I'm going to show you how you can add flux charts indicators to confirm the smart money shift. It helps eliminate false setups. So here are a few live chart examples. As you can see here, we were in an uptrend right over here. When we zoom in, you can see that circle right over there. That is the liquidity sweep, and this is what the Flux Charts Price Action Toolkit can give you by enabling the liquidity grab section. On this one, we had our big impulse move down. We created liquidity right over here. As you can see, the indicator that identified the liquidity sweep. We went into our higher time frame analysis, and then we had a big push down, but the setup was created right over here with this liquidity sweep, big impulse move down, and retraced to our order block, and price continued down. When we look at this example, we have a double bottom. We have one touch there, two touch there. We created liquidity. As you can see here, this candle right over here created a liquidity sweep. As you can see, that dot that the indicator pointed out was a liquidity sweep. We had our market structure shift with our big impulse move. Price came down, entered our order block, and then price reversed away from that level. Alright, so what you want to do, you want to go to Flux Chart, you want to type in Flux Charts Price Action Toolkit. On your trading view under indicators, you want to click here Flux Charts Price Action Toolkit, and this is how the name looks. So please go add it, it's going to help you. This Price Action Toolkit has order blocks, fair value gaps, liquidity grabs, sessions, it has breaker blocks, everything that you can think of. For this video, I literally just enabled the liquidity grabs on this one, and here you can see this is going to be the settings for the liquidity grab. Pivot level is going to be 10, weak body ratio 0.5, and this is the settings for the liquidity grab. And here you can choose your time frames on what you want the liquidity grabs to be identified on. So link is in the description. Go visit Flux Charts on their website. Have a look what they are all about. It's changed and made my trading journeys a lot easier by adding these indicators. Link is in the description. Also go have a look, and then let me know in the comments how Flux Charts help you on your price analysis. And then also please leave a like and subscribe. And then I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.